Hello everyone. So in this video, we will be discussing another method of depreciation. So it's called service output method. So service output method is a method which assumes that the total depreciation that has taken place is directly proportional to the quantity of the output of the property up to that time. So we have the formula: depreciation per unit output is equivalent to FC minus SB over T. We also have DM, which is equivalent to FC minus SB over T, or the depreciation per unit output multiplied by our Q, where DM is still the total depreciation of a property at any time. FC is still the first cost, SV is the salvage or scrap value, and the T is the total units of output up to the end of its life, where Q is equivalent to the total number of units of output at any time. So we have several examples. So let's start with the first example. We have an asphalt and aggregate mixing plant having a capacity of 50 cubic meter every hour cost 2,500,000 pesos. It is estimated to process 800,000 cubic meters during its life. During a certain year, it processed 60,000 cubic meter. If its scrap value is 100,000 pesos, determine the total depreciation during the year and the depreciation cost chargeable to each batch of 50 cubic meter using the service output method. So we are looking for two problems here, or two unknowns here. We need to determine the total depreciation during the year, and we also need to find the depreciation cost chargeable to each 50 cubic meters. So now let's just identify first the given values that we have. So we have our FC, or our first cost, which is 2,500,000 pesos. So we have 2.5 million. We have it is estimated to process 800 cubic meters during its life. So meaning to say our T, or the total units of output up to the end of its life, is equivalent to 800,000 cubic meters. So that is m cubed. And its scrap value, or SV, is equivalent to 100,000 pesos. And we need to determine the total depreciation during the year, in which the year has processed 60,000 cubic meters. So our Q here is equivalent to 60,000 cubic meters. So now we can already find the total depreciation. So that is DM at that year. So from the formula of our DM in the service output methods, we have FC minus SV over T multiplied by our Q. So we have FC is 2.5 M, or 2.5 million, minus our SB is 100,000, or 100K, all over our T, which is 800 cubic meters, 800,000 cubic meters. So we have that, and our Q is 60,000 cubic meters. So if you calculate this one, you'll get the result of 180,000 pesos. This is again in peso. Next one is the depreciation cost chargeable to each batch of 50 cubic meters. So we now have to find our DM. So we have FC, which is 2.5 M minus 100K. Actually, it's the same process and the same formula, but we need to have our Q as 50 cubic meters. So we have T is 800,000, 800K cubic meters, and we have our Q, which is 50 cubic meters. So we now have our depreciation cost for each 50 cubic meters, that is equivalent to 150,000 50 pesos. So that is now the answer for our problem. Next example is we have here an equipment cost 480,000 pesos and has a salvage value of 10% of its cost at the end of its life of 36,000 operating hours in a period of 5 years. In the first year of service, it was used for 12,000 hours. If at the end of the second year it was used for 15,000 hours, find the depreciation at the end of the second year. So again, we have our FC is equivalent to 480,000 pesos. Our salvage value is 10% of 480K, so our SB is equivalent to 48,000 pesos. Next is it is said to have a operating hours for until the end of its life with 36,000 hours. So our T is 36,000 hours. Next, we have to find the depreciation at the end of the second year. So meaning to say the second year is what we are looking for, and during the second year it has processed 15,000 hours, so this is what matters. So our Q now is 15,000 hours. This is hours and this is peso. So we are looking for the depreciation, so DM is equivalent to FC, which is 480,000, minus our SB, which is 48,000, all over our T, which is 36,000 hours, multiplied by our Q, which is 15,000 hours. Cancel the hours, so what is left is the peso. So our DM is equivalent to 180,000 pesos. So this is now the depreciation at the second year. Next example, we have a machine was purchased at an original cost of 400,000 pesos with a salvage value of 20,000 pesos. Life of this machine is expected to last for 6 years. It was used for 4,000 hours in the first year, 6,000 hours in the second year, and 8,000 hours in the third year. The machine is expected to last 38,000 hours in a period of 6 years. Find the depreciation at the end of the second year. So the second year, from the second year, it has processed 6,000 hours. And again, its FC is equivalent to 400,000 pesos. Our SV is 20,000 pesos. And our Q is 6,000 hours. Our T is 38,000 hours. So now we are looking for the DM at the second year. So we have 400,000 minus 20,000 all over T, which is 38,000, multiplied by our 6,000, and that is equivalent to 60,000 pesos. So this is now our DM at the end of the second year. So the last example we have is a coin machine costing 200,000 pesos has a salvage value of 20,000 pesos at the end of its economic life of 5 years. So this is our FC, this is our SV. So at the end of its economic life for 5 years. So this is its life. The schedule of production per year is as follows. 1 year or first year, it produces 100,000 coins. Second year is 80,000. Third is 60,000. Fourth is 40,000. And fifth is 20,000. So you just have to total this one in order for you to have your T. So that is our T. Now, Afterwards, it is looking for the schedule of production per year as follows. Determine the annual reserve for depreciation for third year only. So we are looking for the third year, this one, and it produces 60,000 coins. So DM is equivalent to our FC, which is 200,000 pesos, minus our SB, which is 20,000. That is over our T, which is the total of number of coins, and that is equivalent to 300,000, multiplied by our Q, which is at the third year, so we have 60,000 coins, and that is equivalent to 36,000 pesos. So that is just how you get the depreciation after the third year. So those are all the discussion for this video under the service output method, and we also have the constant unit method, and we also have the working hours method. Still has the same formula. So I hope you've learned something from this video, and I'll see you on my next videos.